welcome to our weekly corporate call. I hope everyone so far had a good Monday and Tuesday, coming off the weekend of Father's Day. Hope everyone had a great Father's Day for all the fathers on this call, and for all those the special significant other than the fathers. I hope you did something great for your fathers, your husbands, your sons, all those great, wonderful men in your lives. But nonetheless, the great men in the world are only great because they have someone greater next to them. And so we appreciate the wives and the significant others that support the men here on this call and here at Actives. This being the middle of the week, our hump day, we're grateful that you get to join us for corporate call to remind you all on the wonderful updates that we have coming up. But I first want to start off the call um, to let everyone know, if you did not log on yesterday to our weekly medical forum, you missed one of the best ones I personally have heard. Sinead Irwin was on the call, and she was amazing. Um, I was actually scared for not only my health, but for the health of the United States and the world in general. The different diseases and the medical and health problems that we are facing. Just recently, within the past 20 years, the past 10 years, the statistical data and the facts that she shared with us was just amazing. A lot of this goes to just our environment that we live in, both whether it's air and, more importantly, our diet, the foods that we eat, the things that we do, the stress levels that we are under, the lifestyle changes that we have morphed into over the years, have really taken a toll on our health. But more importantly, and as I listened to Sinead, I'm worried for our children and our children's children on the future that they're going to have. And that relates, and I'll make it very personal, to the possibility of my grandkids, the health of my grandkids in the future. So taking control of your health, your diet, the things that you can control is so important to making sure that our prosperity lives a life full of healthy chances to go on from child to adulthood. But I mean, I'll just speak for myself. I know Angie was on the call and many of you here, but I was listening intensively to the many problems that we are facing as a society in this day and age when it comes to our health. So I encourage everyone to remain vigilant in creating an environment and lifestyle that will give you and your prosperity the best chances of a happy and healthy life. And I know our products does play a big part in that. But beyond that, live life to its happiness, and just try to create that serotonin that she kept. That was one of the words that I kept, going to. It's not only the happy chemical in there, but it's the healthy chemical in our brain and in our gut. So I just encourage you, if you do not log on to our weekly calls, we do have powerful weekly calls each week on Tuesday nights. So please continue to join us, for those that always join us. And if you haven't or you're interested, it's amazing. You learn something new every week. So with that, I will pass the time over to Angie to talk about our promotions for this month.
Yeah, and I just wanted to reiterate some of what you said about the Tuesday night call. I was also scared listening to the statistics that Sinead was giving to us. But one of the things that I took away from the call was she talked about the effects of inflammation and gut health and weight that it has on your body. And if you think about the products that we have with Optimend for inflammation, Link for your gut, Genomics to turn on and off, turn on the good genes, turn off the bad genes, and Arrow for weight loss and energy. I mean, those are the key products that are targeting what is going to improve your health. And she talked about how like inflammation can affect people having depression or anxiety, and your gut health affecting people that have depression or anxiety. So if we can target, if we can improve those areas of inflammation, gut health, and weight, then you can see how your overall health is going to improve. So it gave me hope, though it scared me. It really scared me hearing the statistics of the future for our children and grandchildren. I was really encouraged that the products that we have here at ACTIVZ are targeting the areas that we need to target to improve our health. So great call. You guys will have the recording up on YouTube, so be sure to check it out and make sure you listen to her, because she does go into really in-depth information about how our body works and how things are affected, and how the products can help us. So moving on, our promotions for the month. So we've talked about these before, but we have 1 week left in the month. So be sure, if you haven't placed your order, get your order in today of 200 PV, at least 200 PV. If you do a 200 PV order, you are going to get a free set of Amora. This is on your reorders. This is on your new enrollments. So if you enroll someone with 200 PV, they're going to get a free set of Amora. We've talked about how great Amora is. It's done wonders to my skin. I will say that I have used every product out there on, okay, not every product out there on the planet, because there's millions out there, but I've tried microdermabrasion. I have tried the vampire facials. I have tried expensive products, cheap products. I have tried everything, and Amora was the only product that I've used that I've actually had results. So this is a great way. It's a $130 value. Great way to get a set of Amora if you have not tried Amora, or get a set of Amora if you have tried Amora and you just love it like I do. So that is our promotion for June. $200 order, you get a free set of Amora. This is for all distributors only. Preferred customers do not qualify for the promotion, but get your order placed today, or get your enrollments in. If you get your enrollments in, you can start qualifying for the 500 club. So get 10 distributor enrollments with 200 PV or more within May, June, and July. So you have 1 week left in June, and then you have all of July to qualify for the 500 club, so you can get an extra $500. This is on top of the regular commissions that you receive. So you get your normal commissions, but if you get 10 distributor enrollments, you'll get an additional $500. So we have some great promotions going on. 1 week left in the month. Make sure to take advantage of this and don't wait. So Stu, that's what we have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Angie. As she pointed out in her last sentence, we just have 1 more week. So once again, it's not how you start, but it's how you finish the ending of this month. We are on a good track right now. And let's make it a very, very great track to end the month. So far, we're a little bit above last month. So every month, just a little at a time, together, we can make this company that much more successful. With that being said, and as I started this call about our weekly calls, always the first week on Tuesday, the first week of the month on Tuesday, we have our testimonials. The second will be our newcomers call. The third, our opportunity presentation. And yesterday, which was our fourth Tuesday of the month, was our medical forum. That being said, next week, we actually have a fifth Tuesday. So please log on next week. We'll have something special lined up for each and every one of you who joins up on our call for our fifth Tuesday, because that's a rare amount of Tuesdays in a month. So we will not vary or do anything different as far as that week, but we'll make it a special call. So please log on next week, Tuesday, and join us then. With that being said, I will turn the time over to our guest speaker today. He hails from the great Northeast, in Pennsylvania, but he spends half of his time on the other side in the Eastern Hemisphere, there in China. Kurt Heising, who is one of our FAB members, is actually a pastor for over 30 years, helping and mentoring so many people, and he does help other churches as well. But besides designing things, building things, and studying Mandarin, he is an entrepreneur, I'm an active builder here in ACTIVZ, and today he will be talking about the daily essential habits for each and every one of us. That being said, the floor is now yours, Kurt.
Thank you, Stu. Raise your hand if you can hear me. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. Um, so I'm going to share something with you today that hopefully will encourage you, hopefully will give you a little bit of fear, and hopefully will motivate you. And because I'm going to talk about something that when I was younger, I only heard this in like a connotation. And as I've gotten older, I realized that, oh, there's a positive and a negative aspect to it. John Maxwell said this. He said, I could come into your house and spend one day with you, and I would be able to tell you whether or not you will be successful. If I got up with you in the morning, went throughout the day with you, and watched you for 24 hours, I could tell you what direction your life is headed. Why is that? Because he would see the habits that you build into your life. Now, when I was younger, I only heard about bad habits. I heard, oh, don't smoke, don't drink. That's a bad habit. Don't overeat, don't do this. Don't have outbursts of anger. And never really talked a lot about good habits. But your habits are like the rudder of your ship. And you can actually, we all have some good habits and we all have some bad habits. And I hope the balance is going to determine where you're going and what you're doing. If you want to be hugely successful, you don't have to do big things. Sometimes we think, oh no, this is such a huge task. A few weeks ago in our business, we had a huge task. And you know what? We broke it down into like 1,000 little steps. And guess what? In the end, step by step, tiny little things we did, in the end, we got to the finish line. And so what your goal is when you start your business, we often write down, here's our goal. My goal is, this, my goal is that. Whatever your goal is, it can look daunting. It can be huge. And yet, how can I ever get there? By putting into place consistent, persistent habits. Your business is not going to go along and then someday some miraculous thing happen and all of a sudden you're successful. What we all do is that, we just begin one step at a time, one degree of faithfulness, one step of faithfulness, we begin to make that journey. And so what are some of the habits that in ACTIVZ we have to have in order to be successful? And none of these are going to be hard. They're all going to be easy, but just some things that I thought about that, and that is this. ACTIVZ is a business of connecting with people. So every day, connect with other people. See, you got to be other-centered, not self-centered. People can smell the difference whether they're like, hey, Stu, I got an opportunity. You want it, or whether you are, hey, I'm just connecting. How's it going? And you find out where people are at. When you connect with people in a genuine level, things begins to lay a groundwork for your business. And so connecting with people is really important. Connecting with mentors in your life, connecting with those that you're reaching out to, connecting with people that aren't on your team, people that are on your team. Learn to make habits of connecting with people, not just talking to people, but connecting with them. And as you develop that habit and that skill, you'll get better and better with actually touching somebody's heart and connecting on a heart level. Because once you learn how to connect with people heart to heart, you're going to find that your business will begin to develop and grow also. So daily connect with other people. That's really important. The other thing is what are you doing to become the person are the kind of leader that you would like other people, or that other people would like to follow. Okay. So as you grow your business, you want to be the kind of person that attracts amazing people. Okay. And John Maxwell, again, he talks about leadership levels from like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And an 8 leader will not be attracted to a 4 leader. So if there, you want to reach out to an 8 level 8 leader, become a level 9 or level 10, and you will be attract more people. And so personal development, personal growth daily is so critical that you need to do. And whether it's reading, whether it's whatever, guarding your mind against negative thoughts, bad belief systems, being down, being negative. I like what one of my favorite speaker said. He says, if you don't like what you see, change what you say. Because you can't always change what you feel. But if you begin to speak and say, you know what, I can do it. Hey, you know what, I can touch someone. You know what, I can sign someone up. You know what, I can help someone. You and begin to be coachable. You begin to take small steps. I'm not talking about reading a book in a week. I'm talking every day. Find something that you can apply to your life. So commit to personal growth, and other people will see that. That's a habit. Another habit that I really love and that we can all work on is that make a new friend every day. Every day. You know what? Reach out and go to the grocery store. You know what? There's a lot of people. Now they're taking, at least around our area, they're taking their mask off, and they're happy to see people without a mask and people with a smile. Well, and they're starved for social interaction, and you can do that. It's a perfect time at work, a walk in the park, or walking your dog, or whatever it might be, sports events, etc. Make a new friend. I didn't say you have to approach everybody with, hey, I got an opportunity. Hey, but make a friend. Because if you make a friend and develop a way of continuing to enhance that relationship. Years ago, I learned how critically important it is. It's like, hey, let me text you, see how your dog's doing. You find something to comment in, and let's just stay in touch. And you find some way of doing that, because if you don't make a friend, you just had an encounter. So there's a real difference between beginning to develop a friendship and just having an encounter with someone, because we've all been to the place where we've said, oh, I met that person on the train, but man, I'd like to get I didn't get a phone number. I didn't get a contact. I didn't get anything, and so learn to make that a habit where you develop a way to enhance your friendship. And so these are not big things. These are just some little things that I've learned. And daily, just when I reach out to people, find out where they're at, what their needs are. If ACTIVZ can help solve their needs, I'll offer to, hey, you know what? I know someone that had something just like you. I think you ought to hear their story. I'll text it to you. What's your text number? I'll put them in the app, okay? And so I love the app because it offers me a way of saying, you know what? I know someone. I think you ought to hear their story. This is really about storytelling, and the app helps you tell stories. That's the power of the app. And so I will often, if I offer to tell somebody a story, you know what? You ought to hear their story. I think you would love it. What's your phone? Okay, I'll send this to you. Okay, make sure you let me know if you get it. Of course, I do know when they get it. I do know when they watch it. And so that's the really neat thing about the app. But our job is really to get information to people, not to convince them of anything, but they will begin to respond. But really, really, really begin to share stories with people. But to do that, you need to find out what their need is. I mean, if they're saying, man, I don't know what, with COVID, my income's down, and that, I said, you know what, that reminds me of someone, they were, you know what? I think I got a video of their story. You want me to send it to you? When I offer to tell a story or send them a story that I think will relate, they respond to that. And so be a story sharer, find out what needs are and share a story relating to that. I'll go back to the app. What story is going to work best? Well, I think this, and familiarize yourself with those stories. These are daily things. These are habits. These are ways that you begin to train yourself to do on a consistent way. Again, it's not hitting the moon with one shot. This is daily doing, consistency, that and not stopping. And part of that is follow up. Of course, you've all heard the story. The fortune is in the follow up. Actually, the app will remind you to follow up, which is also really good. But your job is always in follow up to get them to the next step. Let's say you send a story to someone and say, hey, how did you like that story, you know, about that? What did you relate to about it and stuff? If I could get you to on a phone with her, would that help? Would you like that? Because there might be more left to that story. And you can begin to connect people with 3 ways. You can say, and they might say, hey, what was that? Opta plan, Opta whatever. Oh, Optimin. Would you like to hear what the doctors are saying about that? Sure. Oh, let me see if I can find that. I'll send it to you. Okay. I send them, find out what their need is and go from there. So follow up is really important, a really great habit. And so just daily, if we can learn to make it a habit to add value to other people's lives, rather than just don't focus on building your business, focus on building others. If you focus on building others, your business will take care of yourself. You know, who can I call today? Who could I encourage today? Who could I compliment today? Who could I help today? You know, and our job, whether whether they're in our business or whether they're not in our business, is to be a better and a clearer servant leader. So encourage your upline, encourage corporate. They do a great job. Encourage your downline. You know, always compliment a prospect, you know, with something you really love about them. Add value to other people. When you become someone that is always adding value to other people, you actually are doing those habitual things that cause other people to say, man, I'd like to be like him. He's always encouraging. Wonder what makes him tick, you know? And so I just believe that there's so many small things. You know, we live in a world where we like to say things like, overnight, you can be an overnight success. Well, overnight successes usually take decades to build. Okay. And so, and the way they do that is through daily small steps of good habits. So I'll give you a little homework to do. So take a legal page and put a line down the middle. One side, good habits. The other side, bad habits. These are your own personal habits. Begin to write them down and then look at them and say, which habits are moving me towards the goal that I have, and which habits are like a ball and chain around my ankle. And don't change them all, but just say, you know what? I believe that I can move this one and I can replace it with a good habit and begin to do that. It's really small steps. It's not big things that cause you to be success in any realm. People, if you have a job, what do you do? Every day you go to work when it's open. It's not like I'm going to go today once a month and I'm going to really do great. No, you're going to go every day. And most of the days are going to be rather boring, rather monotonous, rather ordinary. But if those ordinary days you can do something extra, they become extraordinary. So habits. So key for moving you from where you are to where you want to be. Thank you, Stu. Back to you.
That was amazing, Kurt. Thank you so much. Much needed advice and thoughts. Learn to connect with people, commit to personal growth and development, make a new friend, follow up and get them to the next step, and add values to people's lives. I mean, that is the business that we are in. That is the network marketing, direct selling business that we are. It's not about ranking up to an A16 overnight. It's not about making $100,000 a month or anything like that. It's the simple habits that Kurt pointed out to, that if you do it on a daily, consistent basis, by the time you know it, you'll be a Christina Godoy being an A16. You'll be living the life that we all dream of, and making sure that we can help others with our wealth and also with our time. And so I really appreciate that. I just wanted to wrap things up and share a thought with you. It goes hand in hand with what Kurt shared. I was, as you know, last week I was on some of the calls, but I couldn't put on my video on too much because I was outside doing football camps. We took a lot of boys here from Hawaii up to Utah, down to Nevada, and we hit 6 football camps in 6 days. And during those times, I learned something pretty interesting. I think it's either the different generations that we grew up in, or it's just um, the lifestyle that we currently live in, whether it's the social media lifestyle or this fast-paced world. But I came upon the conclusion that one word resonated in my mind called entitlement. A lot of these kids felt like they were entitled to receiving a scholarship by just going to these camps. We have one boy here from Hawaii who's an 8th grader, 14 years old, 6'5", 285 pounds. He's a giant 8th grader that walked on the field, by far the biggest one. And he thought just by going to these camps, he was going to get a scholarship offer. And I thought to myself, why? Are you entitled, or are you deserving for one without even performing? And he felt slighted in a couple of the camps that he was at afterwards, coming say, coach, I don't know why none of these coaches gave me the time of day or didn't give me a scholarship offer. I'm the biggest one here. What's going on? And I said, what have you done? What is the work that you put in? Were you lifting and running before this? What did you do in these past 2 hours that made the coaches look at you? And I think a lot of these kids nowadays only looking at the big picture, at the end results. Like Kurt said, they think it's an overnight thing, but they didn't think that overnight success took 20 years in the making for a lot of people to be successful. They just think it's the instant gratification just by clicking on a button and getting a like, or you know um, something like that. And so the daily work that we need to put in are sometimes something that people don't see. And they always say you see a man's true character when no one's looking. I think by us being on this call, we all get to enjoy each other's company. We get to be edified by the wonderful advice and words and wisdom by our weekly speakers like Kurt, our weekly presenters on our weekly calls. But beyond the Wednesdays or the Tuesday calls, what are we doing on a daily basis, like Kurt pointed out, from a habit standpoint, that we're building our business to gain the success that we want? Or do we feel entitled by just being part of ACTIVZ that we are guaranteed success? So those are things that came to my mind as I was helping some of the football players with these camps. Is sometimes we got to get out of our minds the entitlement issue, but more so now we got to do what we call the working um, part of things, where we should be appreciative and grateful for the things which we receive when we work for it. The time that we spent in helping others, as Kurt pointed out, in just making a new friend, creating a connection. In Japanese, they call a bond kizuna. And so it's connecting the heart of someone with the heart of someone else, that you create this bond. that is like an everlasting bond. You connect from heart to heart, not just from words to words or in passing with a hi. You connect on a level that your hearts come together. So what are we doing on a daily basis, and the work that we're putting in to connect, to build our business the right way? And I'm pretty sure everyone on this call would agree that the more work you put in, the reward is that much better. Um, Great if something comes for free, but the expectation or entitlement that we have, or we would, expect, isn't as greater if we put in the blood, sweat, and tears of then reaping the rewards that we would get from that. So I encourage each and every one of you, as Kurt pointed out, try to create a habit on a daily basis that works for you. But more importantly, things that works for others. What can you do to follow up on that one person that you met this month? In the next 7 days, are you going to reach out to that person and see what you can do to help them, what you can do to serve? And I'm pretty sure that they would be appreciative of your just, hey, I'm just thinking about you. I was working out, my body was sore. I took my Optimin, I feel much better. I saw you working in the yard the other day, just seeing if I can help you with your things. We need help with your yard. And I'm pretty sure those kinds of conversations will go a long way in not only building your business, but building relationships that will last a lifetime. And those are the relationships that when you turn into business, they tend to last a much, much longer.
Hey, sorry,
So
this is
with that,
Joaquin. Can I say something very quick,
yes,
Stuart?
go ahead, Joaquin.
I just wanted to say, Stuart, like I'm very gifted to you all, and Angie and David and Ryan too, because like I'm really gifted with you guys. I really feel that I make great friendship with you guys. So I really appreciate you guys letting me be part of it. So I really appreciate everything. I love you guys very much. So that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Joaquin.
Joaquin, it's people like you that makes our day and place here at Active so much rewarding. We appreciate you and the many others on this call for joining in, listening, and just being who you are. Really appreciate it. Um,
No problem.
so yes. So with that being said, one quick announcement before we end the call, and I turn the time over to Angie for our Wheel of Names raffle. Next month, we will not have an active school. In its place, on July 24th, we will be having a virtual event with an unbelievable guest speaker that has not presented before in the history of Actives. This gentleman is very, very, um, it'll be very motivating, and it's going to be very powerful, is all I got to say. And there'll also be other big announcements that will be coming up very, very soon. So save that date, July 24th. It will start at 9 a.m. Utah time, and that will be a virtual event which will replace our active school for next month. So with that being said, I will turn the time over to Angie to close our call with the Wheel of Names.
All right, let's do this. Just a reminder of what Kurt said, make sure that you write down on a piece of paper your good habits and bad habits and take a look at those. I think that is a great idea to do. So, okay, we are going to do our Wheel of Names really quick for 60 reward points. And let's see. Here we go. It shut down on me. There we go. Here we are. I thought it was going to land on Joaquin. Okay, it's Caleb. So Caleb, if you will put your ID number in the chat so I can give you your 60 reward points, that would be fantastic. So, okay. Well, thank you all for joining. We so appreciate you being on the call today. Just a reminder that next Tuesday we are going to have our another meeting. It's going to be kind of a surprise, but we'll try to get some information out to you guys early on as to who we're going to have. But join us next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, and on our same Zoom number, the 477-444-4321. And our recordings will be on YouTube. I did put our YouTube channel in the chat, so if you guys have any questions as to where to go to find our recordings, questions, just take a look in the chat and access our YouTube channel. So it's great to see everyone, and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye. Thank you. Great job, Kurt. Appreciate it.